1913 was the worst year in American history as we were enslaved with the income tax, direct election of senators, and the Federal Reserve. And if you say who runs the Federal Reserve, you are anti-Semitic, a word which, along with Nazi and racist, was created by these bankers to protect them from criticism. They cry out in pain as they strike you. Police generally do a good job, though, as happened in Russia in 1917 and China in 1948, with their communist revolutions, the media inflamed popular hatred of police so that police would be helpless when communist mobs began murdering the enemies of the bankers. And you are an anti-Semite if you say who they are.
Oh man, this guy was on a roll. This is up in Sacramento, their city council meeting here, and I guess this is a concerned constituent. He would like for our society to get much better. And there's only one problem. There's certain people that are standing in the way. His anti-Semitism was dialed up a few more notches as he's talking about unions here.
Until union control of police and all other professions is ended, they will not be truly accountable to the people they serve. Unions profess to give fair wages and benefits, but in reality, it is about absolute control from the top of the unions. If white supremacists hate bigotry, sexism, and racism from whites was a problem in Sacramento, then why isn't the entire Sacramento City Council made up of straight whites? So we see you are deceiving when you speak about the problems of racism, white supremacy, Nazis, and hate. Just because you hate the truth does not make a white person who tells it hateful. Anti-Semitism used to mean someone who hates all Jews. Now it means someone who is hated by Jew bankers. 90%.
Hey, see you later, pal. We don't want to hear any more from you.
Okay, I have the First Amendment. I have the First Amendment. This is a violation of my First Amendment rights. This is a violation of my First Amendment rights, and I have the First Amendment.
I have to ask myself, what was the point of him showing up here? He was reading very quickly from his prepared notes because I think he knew the response he would get from folks, because I guess they're all under the control of those evil Jewish folks who are running the entire world. So that's what his point was. But what's the point of saying it? It's in your head, we get it. You're a hateful person and you believe craziness, but still, does he think he's gonna convince anyone else there? We saw as the response started getting a little louder, it wasn't working out. I think he was expecting it. That's why it finished here.
I have 30 seconds left on my clock. You have no right to take away my time.
Will you pause for a moment? Pause for a moment. I'd like to remind members of the audience that please don't shout out from the audience. You will have your opportunity to speak.
The problem is you have people who feel that they are going to shout down the opposition. And so what they do is, by doing this, they're ensuring their own First Amendment rights are going to come under attack. So at the end of the day, we have a brainwashed population that is incapable of critical thought. They think they have never been disciplined as kids, so they march up here and they think that
their time is up. Sit down.
Thank you.
Thoughts here, Burbank. Because again, these are things that we're seeing a lot with school board meetings, and people just come up there and saying the things that they're going to say. And the problem is, in those school districts and superintendents, administrations were listening to this madness, and that's why we're in many positions in these school boards or these school situations right now. But this guy, where are you going?
Yeah, I really like the shirt that his mom bought for him, Jayar. But I'm pretty confident he picked out that hat. I'm so sure of it. The way he says in such a monotone voice, they cry out in pain as they strike you. What? Income tax, he said, is slavery. The way the tax system works is that you work and you pay a little bit of money so that we have roads to drive on and schools to go to and such. We can have beef with where the budget goes, but to say income tax is slavery is extreme. If you don't like living in a society, go live in the woods somewhere. Maybe that's what we really need, is to just say, you know what, we're gonna give up this part of our national park, and it's for all the people that just wanna live in the woods and just get out of society. I think maybe giving people that opportunity would be a good idea at this point when I see people like this. I wanna say Jerome Powell is the head of the Federal Reserve. He says, if I talk about the identity of the chair of the Fed or the head of the Fed, you'll call me anti-Semitic. Jerome Powell's a Catholic man. I'm confused. Yeah, and so that maybe goes to show the extent of how educated he is about what's going on in government, but also how extensive his anti-Semitism is as well.
Yeah, it's ridiculousness, so that has to mean absolutely nothing. Apparently Obama's also Jewish, so is Joe Biden. Apparently so is Donald Trump, because the Jews have been running the world since forever. Did it pause for the 4 years that Trump was in office? Because if it didn't, that means Trump's part of it too. Oh my God, he didn't stop it. It's such illogical nonsense that if you ask two questions, it completely unravels.
We're eating when she pees, JR.
It wasn't enough. It's the problem. It leads to more problems.